Hare Krishna. Namaste. Chapter 3, which is entitled as Karma Yoga. Sloka 33. sadṛśaṁ ceṣṭate svasyāḥ prakṛter jñānavān prakṛtiṁ yānti bhūtāni nigrahaḥ kariṣyati. Starting from this sloka till end of this chapter, the third chapter, Krishna is going to explain how difficult it is to perform the jnana yoga and what are the difficulties that one might come across. This seemed to be repeated several times about the difficulty of jnana yoga is because so that to inspire one and to increase one's determination to perform karma yoga and not to simply get sidetracked in getting into the jnana yoga. So in this sloka today, sadṛśaṁ ceṣṭate svasyāḥ prakṛter jñānavān prakṛtiṁ yānti bhūtāni nigrahaḥ kariṣyati. Even a man of a knowledge who acts according to his own nature, for everyone follows the nature, he has occurred from the three modes. What can repression accomplish? That's a translation. So, one understands that he is situated in this body and the body is influenced by the three modes. Based on particular mode at a given point of time, one acts. If the mode of goodness is high, then I do activities that are in mode of goodness. If the mode high in passion, then I do activities that are in mode of passion. If the mode of ignorance is high, then I do activities in mode of ignorance. But these three modes are non-sentient. Hence, they will not be able to make any decisions. Hence, it has to be because of my karma which is triggering these three modes. There should be something which is triggering these three modes. So what is triggering these three modes is the karma, my own karma that is triggering the three modes. But again, these karmas are also non-sentient. Then how can they take action to trigger the three modes? So we have come to an understanding that it has to be the Supreme Lord who is sentient, directs my karma to influence the three modes to indulge me in a particular action. Therefore, I perform my karma based on this clear understanding that I am not the doer. This is the way either karma yogi or the jnana yogi, they should function. So, karma yoga is greatness and the jnana yoga challenges can be quickly summarized in 3 bullets. That is, karma yoga is easy to do. Number 2, no chance to fall down. Number 3, karma yoga can give the result by itself without having to go through jnana yoga. Whereas in jnana yoga, the challenges are: number 1, difficult to do. Number 2, high chances that one might fall down. Number 3, it depends on karma yoga. It's not by itself. So, that is discussed clearly in this and the following slokas. A person may have clear knowledge of the teachings of the scriptures. That is, the Atma, the self, is different and distinct from the body. The self is embodiment of knowledge, bliss, and it's eternal. And a person contemplates on the self with this understanding. Still, he does not continuously meditate on the self from the knowledge that he has received. Instead, he get engaged himself with material objects. Why? Because of the subtle impressions inherent in him. There is the impression vasanas are within him. Because of that reason, he is impulsed or is forced or pushed towards the material objects. And these vasanas are created by experiencing the material object in many, many lifetimes, in previous lives. And due to their association with the prakrti, the body, from the beginningless time for long time, the individual cells have deluded themselves that the body is the self and have deeply involved themselves with material objects accordingly. Hence the vasanas regarding the material object inherent in them are also in time immemorial for a very long time. Nigrahaḥ kariṣyati. Krishna says in the Sloka, what one can achieve if one doesn't listen to what has been told in Shastras are good words. This chapter or these slokas are told by Krishna 5,100 years back. And that time Krishna is telling what one can achieve if one doesn't listen to these things that's told in the Shastras. Then what to speak about now in 2020? If during Krishna times people were not ready to hear, we have less hope that we will have people willing to hear now. Then one may ask a question, why we have to conduct such classes? Too much time consuming, it's a waste of time for the speaker, waste of time for the people who are hearing. If we know in this Yuga, Kali Yuga, people will not listen. Why we have to do all those things? Well, as years passes, there will be less and less people who will be interested in spiritual topic. That is given, that is known. People will turn more into materialistic lifestyle and they will become completely selfish and ready to do anything to any extreme for their own survival and happiness. But that doesn't stop one to teach or speak Gita. Kali Yuga will do its role, its part, and we who have faith in Krishna and Krishna's word have to do our role. That is to teach others as much as we could. If not, hear from those who are willing to teach. Not everyone could be a teacher, but everyone could be a hearer. So either one we have to do. We have to teach and hear also. Otherwise, we have to hear if we cannot teach. This fight between Kali and the saintly people will continue. It's a continuous, never-ending battle. So the question is, who will win this battle? It doesn't really matter who wins or who loses. It just matters if we are doing our role or not. That's all it really matters. Even here in Gita, Krishna constantly instructs Arjuna one thing, that is to fight. And in 700 slokas that how much ever you search, we are not going to find where Krishna is giving an instruction to Arjuna that you have to win. He never says that. All he says is that you have to fight. Krishna could have given assurance to Arjuna that fight and I'll make sure you win the battle. Or never ask Arjuna himself to make sure he wins the battle. All he's asking is just fight. Do your duty, just fight. So the action is very important than the outcome of the action itself. As long as the action is in a right path. Likewise, we should continue teaching good messages from Gita, Mahabharata, Ramayana, Bhagavatam, and do not expect a big result out of it. As we never know, there would be someone whose heart might change at any point just hearing one lecture, just hearing a 5 minutes talk, just hearing one word, a person might change. We never know who that person is. Or it might take many lectures or many years. After hearing, one's heart might mellow down slowly. Therefore, teaching of Gita should never stop. Likewise, the hearing of Gita should never stop either. This message of Krishna must be broadcasted to everyone and all the time. sadṛśaṁ ceṣṭate svasyāḥ prakṛter jñānavān api prakṛtiṁ yānti bhūtāni nigrahaḥ kariṣyati. So here, an important point we have to see about how these things all happen, why we get caught up with this certain habits that we have, is because of the vasanas. From birth to death, we are all very closely associated with our body, and hence we function based on its nature. The vasanas, their nature. When a person functions on certain way, and that is called the vasanas. Vasanas meaning the impression that one got from previous actions. Either the action could be this life, or it could be a previous life, or it could be any life, or it could be collections of lives that we have gone through. And that impression is called vasanas. That over the period of the time it becomes our nature. Certain behaviors, certain liking and disliking, that becomes our nature. And when based on this vasana we perform some action which are either punya or papa. Namaste. Hare Krishna.